Showers and thunderstorms are moving across the area right now. A front is driving them through town. Once they get out of here, we're talking about a pleasant couple of days here. We'll break it all down coming up for you.
We are tracking two breaking news stories in central Kentucky. A deadly crash shut down a road in Jessamine County. And in Scott County, a wreck on the interstate created a traffic mess.
It's bittersweet. It's sad.
After 10 years, a volleyball tournament dedicated to a Flight 5191 victim is coming to an end.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
A deadly wreck in Jessamine County. You're watching WKYT. I'm Kristen Kennedy. We are tracking breaking news tonight in Nicholasville. Police tell us one person is dead, 4 are injured. They've closed a stretch of South Main Street between Southbrook and Kimberly Heights. They believe an SUV lost control and hit a pickup truck head-on. WKYT's Sabir Rayford is live at the scene. Sabir, do police know what caused that driver to lose control?
Police say an SUV was traveling southbound here on Main Street when it collided with a pickup truck. They said they smelled alcohol in the car when they went to go check on it, and witnesses say that the car was driving erratically. Police say the SUV had 2 kids in the car. They say another car traveling northbound on Main Street was able to get out of harm's way, but the pickup truck behind the car collided with the SUV. The truck had 2 passengers and 1 died on the scene. Police say everyone else was transported to the hospital and didn't appear to have any major injuries. This portion of South Main Street near Ridgewood Drive has been shut down since the accident happened around 3 o'clock. Sergeant Scott Harvey says they are still trying to piece together what happened.
From what we can tell, preliminary investigation, neither occupant of the pickup truck were belted in. I don't know if that contributed to the death or not, but I know it's very difficult to survive a collision like this if you're not belted in. And so that's one of the situations that we deal with all the time in police force, is just try to educate people the importance of wearing a safety belt.
At this time, the victim of the crash has not been identified. Live in Nicholasville, Sabir Rayford, WKYT.
Sabir, thank you. Also breaking tonight, deputies in Scott County are investigating a major wreck on the interstate. For a couple hours, only one lane of traffic was moving on I-75 near mile marker 121. Crews just reopened all lanes. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner is out there for us. And Caitlin, what caused that backup?
Kristen, witnesses told police there was standing water on the interstate, and we're not just talking a little bit of water, we're talking about 1 to 2 feet of standing water, and police say we're lucky that this pileup wasn't much worse. It was around 2:30 this afternoon. Scott County Sheriff's deputies got the call. Close to a dozen cars had crashed on I-75 northbound just past Ironworks Pike. Deputies say the road conditions actually caused cars to spin out and hit the median, as well as surrounding cars. The pileup caused the interstate to shut down for quite some time while crews made sure it was safe for travel. A couple of people were sent to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, but for the most part, everyone was okay.
Due to the large amount of water on the roadway, and multiple vehicles and being the weekend, we're very fortunate.
Deputies said every wrecker service in Scott County was here. State Transportation was also here, looking into why there was so much standing water on the interstate. In Scott County, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
Deputies in Scott County do believe weather played a role in that major crash on I-75. We are tracking more strong storms moving across the area right now. WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell is taking a look at the radar.
And we are watching some of those showers and thunderstorms. Visibility probably looking a whole lot like this a little while ago for those folks. We're looking off in the distance at one of the heavier showers moving through the area. So that's what they were experiencing as well. That, and you throw in some water on the road. Here's what Defender's tracking at the moment, and we have numerous showers, thunderstorms throughout the entire area. Pockets of heavy rain also coming into play. We look here into Fayette County, and that's what I was tracking on the Skycam. That heavy batch that we're looking just north of where it says Lexington, that's the little batch we were looking at here in Fayette County, and even more out to our north and to our east. There you see into Carlisle, getting in on some lightning and thunder. Heavy rains, gusty winds associated with that particular batch. We move to the south, and we're now into Rockcastle and and over into Jackson counties, tracking some heavier rain as well, and then into eastern parts of Kentucky from Jackson there in Breathitt County, and then down to Hazard. More rounds of heavy rain. All of this trying to come together, and we're going to be tracking even more because another batch is starting to set up out to our west that's going to sweep through. But that's the batch that's directly attached to a cold front that is going to shake things up. I'll break it all down coming up for you in just a few minutes.
The Franklin County coroner has now identified the 2 people killed in a crash Friday. He says Alexandria Manis and Stephen Snow crossed a median on Wilkinson Boulevard and hit a Jeep head-on. WKYT's Mike Byers tracking the investigation.
I'm standing along Wilkinson Boulevard near Hall Street in Frankfort, which last night was the scene of a terrible car crash. A crash that claimed the lives of 2 people.
I travel this road all the time going to my first job, and cars always been careful, so that's really a freak accident.
Ramona Donald was coming home from work around 8:30 last night when she drove up to the scene of a major accident.
All I saw was like 2 ambulances, and it was probably like 6 or 7 police.
Frankfort police say a Toyota traveling westbound on Wilkinson Boulevard between Hall Street and the Holmes Street exit crossed the median and hit a Jeep head-on that was traveling eastbound. Police tell us 4 people were involved, 2 in each car. The Franklin County coroner tells us the driver of the Toyota, 22-year-old Alexandria Manis, and her passenger, 27-year-old Stephen Snow, died at the scene. As for the other 2 victims, police say they were taken to Frankfort Regional Medical Center with what they described as non-life-threatening injuries.
That hurts. That really hurts to know that, somebody's families had passed away in this accident.
The deadly crash shut down part of the roadway for over 4 hours. An accident reconstruction crew was on scene investigating. Now police are still trying to determine what led up to the deadly crash. In Frankfort, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Speed and alcohol are not believed to be factors in the crash. The coroner says Manis was not wearing a seatbelt and that Snow was. A 3rd person is now facing a murder charge for 2 deaths in Montgomery and Wolfe counties. State police arrested 31-year-old Carla Hunt in Bath County. She is charged in connection to the murders of Brandy Davidson and Devin Payton. Troopers originally only charged her with tampering with physical evidence. Back in June, they found Payton's body near the water under Slate Creek Bridge in Montgomery County. A day later, troopers found Davidson's body behind a cabin in Wolfe County. They say Hunt and 4 men were at the cabin. They believe 2 of the men got into a fight with a 3rd and shot him. Davidson's parents believe she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. We are learning new details tonight about what happened moments before investigators in Harlan County shot and killed a man facing explosives charges. Last week, Mark Sawaf was leading investigators to trail cameras he'd placed in the woods. Sawaf had rigged those cameras with explosives. A new motion a U.S. attorney filed yesterday states investigators were trying to return Sawaf to custody when he grabbed the gun of one of the officers. They claim there was a fight and that one of the investigators shot Sawaf. A tournament honoring a victim of Flight 5191 came to a close today. The Fenton Dawson Memorial Volleyball Tournament is in its 10th and final year. Dawson died when Comair Flight 5191 crashed during takeoff from the Bluegrass Airport in 2006. WKYT's Mike Linden talked with Dawson's friends.
Come in. Oh, yeah.
For the past 10 years, Kyle Kahn has come to the Kentucky Basketball Academy in Lexington to play in a volleyball tournament each August. Kahn and more than 200 others are playing in memory of Fenton Dawson, who passed away 10 years ago.
Couldn't believe that it happened and he was gone.
Dawson died when Comair Flight 5191 crashed at Bluegrass Airport in 2006.
We come back every year and we're able to remember him, and of course it gets a little easier as time goes by, but we never forget what happened.
To honor Dawson's memory, his friends created the Fenton Dawson Memorial Volleyball Tournament.
We're very proud of it. I think it quickly became one of the most loved, best run tournaments in the state.
To commemorate the 10 years of the tournament, Fenton's mother made this quilt comprised of every shirt worn by competitors every year. That includes 1 through 10. But the 10th also happens to be the last shirt.
It's bittersweet, it's sad, but I know it's time, and they've done a wonderful job, and so I'm just so proud of what they've accomplished with it.
Tournament organizers plan to donate 10 years worth of net proceeds to the 5191 Memorial Preservation Fund. But organizers had one more surprise in store.
I know all of you guys have paid your registration fees. Those checks will be given back to you today. Everybody here today plays for free.
In Lexington, Mike Linden.
1, 2, 3, jam!
WKYT.
Fenton's mother is giving the quilt she made to his 2 children. Coming up on WKYT News at 6, artists from near and far are showing off their work this weekend in Lexington.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
It has been a pretty stormy day for many folks across central and into eastern Kentucky, with rounds of heavy rain showing up out there from time to time and a little gusty wind. Nothing severe, but certainly some stronger thunderstorms trying to go up in certain spots. There you see the coverage on our Fender Radar Network, and you also see another line shaping up out to our west that will eventually roll in here a little bit later on tonight. That's going to be closer attached to the actual front that's pushing its way across Kentucky. Here we go on a radar tour to see who's dealing with the heaviest rain. We go right into northern parts of Madison County, close to the Fayette County line, and that's where you find one round of heavier rain. Also off toward the north and east. You can see just north of Owensville, as a matter of fact, getting in on some of that heavier rain showing up there, and into Carlisle as well. They've been dealing with that heavy rain for a little while. Let's move to the south, and we are now into Jackson County, where pretty much all of Jackson County covered up with moderate and heavy rainfall, except right around McKee. You fall into that little green section where it's lightened up momentarily, and then more of the same. Now into northern parts of Perry County and also right into Hazard as well, showing even more storms along the Mountain Parkway too. Here's the front. There you see it driving the next round of thunderstorms in here, that line. Plenty of stormy activity attached to it. But the thing about it is, once it gets here and clears out, things are looking a whole lot better for us. Let's take you on an hour-by-hour tour, too. We're at midnight tonight, still dealing with some showers and thunderstorms. Let's go through the overnight. Early tomorrow morning, after we're on the air, you look at around 11 o'clock, things are starting to clear up. We're at mid-morning at this point. Things look a whole lot better. Front continues working through eastern Kentucky. And by 5 o'clock, the world is quite well around here. We are not dealing with any showers or thunderstorms. And look at this. We are tracking the humidity. Fall air arrives. Everywhere you see the yellow, that's the tropical stuff. Darker shades of green, muggy, and you get into that light green, that's some pretty dry air. Look what happens as we get into Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and especially goes on into Monday. Humidity decreases, and we're talking about a fall-like feel around here. Dew points in the 50s. We could even see lows in the 50s in our 7-day forecast, which is coming at you right now. Look at that, 58, 59. I'll tell you what, I might be a little warm. A lot of the models are trying to trend even cooler than that, mid-50s. Let me tell you what a mid-50 would do for you, Kristen. You walk outside, you're going to say, ugh, it's kind of cold. It'll have a chill associated with it if we can get all the way into the mid-50s.
Hey, I've packed on some extra weight lately, carrying around this baby. I am loving the cooler temperatures.
Bring it on.
Yes. Rain or shine, Lexington's annual Woodland Art Fair is happening this weekend, and artists from as far as California and Florida are at this year's festival. The long-running fair always showcases local artists. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain talked to some of them.
The rain may have had you singing the blues today, but rain or shine, the Woodland Art Fair is going on this weekend.
Our fair is ranked in the top 50 fine art and craft fairs in the United States. So the artists that we get here at Woodland are really the top of their field. They come from all over the U.S.
More than 200 artists are showcasing their work for thousands of people to see and hopefully buy.
You know, to think that these folks make a living, they're living, that they support themselves doing this every year is really amazing.
Fair organizers tell me it's their goal to have at least 50 local artists here at the fair. For one Lexington photographer, he tells me his artwork began as a hobby gone out of control.
In 1980, I traded a friend $100 and 2 pickup truckloads of firewood for an old Minolta camera and 2 lenses.
A majority of John Snell's photography consists of scenic shots from some of Kentucky's most beautiful and recognizable places.
I think he really captures the best parts of Kentucky, you know, those places that you go to when you're hiking or if you're by the water and you go, man, I love this state. His work really speaks to me in that way. It feels like home.
The Lexington native has been setting up shop at the Woodland Art Fair for the past 19 years, and he says it's the perfect place to show off his craft.
It's my favorite. I always do well here, but sales-wise, it's a really good show for me.
At the Woodland Art Fair in Lexington.
Enjoy the show. Good luck.
Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
And the fair runs through 5 o'clock tomorrow out at Woodland Park in Lexington. If you go, be sure to stop by our WKYT booth. Lee K's in next with sports. High school football's back, and we are continuing the countdown to college games.
Yeah, you could just say football is back in general. The high school season kicked off last night. One area team got a big win, but they lost one of their best players in the process. And the Wildcats held another scrimmage this morning out at the stadium. Mark Stoops says the Cats need major improvement in one particular area. That's next in sports. Mark Stoops and his football Wildcats completed their second and final scrimmage of the fall camp. Now it's on to the fine-tuning and implementing those game plans. Stoops said today that his team has increased its capacity. Now that's one of the buzzwords that he's used all preseason. The Cats have done about 25% more work, he said. Stoops also said the depth continues to be an issue, and he wants to see that the biggest area of improvement between now and Southern Miss on September the 3rd.
I'm pleased. I feel like both sides did some good things. It was good to see the defense get some 3 and outs early and put the offense in some bad situations. The offense responded, did some good things as well. I think the biggest issue is again, depth, is what I'm concerned about, and getting the guys that are 2s and 3s to play at a higher level.
Now defensively, the Cats got a big play today from cornerback Derek Beatty, who picked off Drew Barker, but defensive coordinator DJ Elliott complained for a second weekend about UK's tackling issues.
It's only the second live tackling opportunity we've had, so you know it's not where it needs to be. We're going to have to get that accomplished in practice, and you know, some of the guys did some good things, and some of the guys didn't do some good things. So we got a lot that we can learn from.
And the college football season now just 2 weeks away. That means 14 days until the Wildcats open against Southern Miss, the number 14 worn by Patrick Tolles, Chuck Broughton, and Anthony Mosley, among others. The Kentucky defense surrendered just 14 passing touchdowns last season, and UK safety Darrell Bishop ended his career with a total of 14 interceptions, still a school record. For more facts on the number 14, you can visit the sports page at WKYT.com. It is the opening weekend of the high school football season. The majority of teams across the state kicking off last night, but a handful waiting for the Saturday night lights. Bryan Station in the final Lexington school to get the season underway, taking on Wayne County tonight, first quarter. Wayne County's opening possession, Lorenzo Lindsay with the swing pass to Brett Massengale, but he's snuffed out by William Mitchell of the defenders for a loss. Station would strike first on the first snap from scrimmage in the driving rain. Quentin Floyd goes up top and finds Desmond Bernard in stride. 71-yard touchdown, 7-0 Bryan Station. Wayne County had an answer, though, near the end of the first quarter to tie the score. This is a good one just before halftime. Currently the score in the second quarter, all knotted up at 14. East Jessamine won its season opener on Friday night over Elizabethtown, but the Jaguars lost one of their best players just 3 minutes into the game. Senior running back Justin McIntyre broke both bones in his right leg on that play you saw there. He would be taken off the field in an ambulance. Last season, McIntyre led East Jessamine in rushing, so last night's win was bittersweet for East Jessamine.
This was all for Justin McIntyre. We love him. He was our team leader, and he went down 3 minutes into the game. And I told the guys, I said, he doesn't want you to hang your head. He doesn't want you to pout. He's a leader. He pushed you to do this. Let's fight through and win it for him. And the kids just did everything they could. In the toughest of moments, we fought back, and that was a huge win for our program.
Gold medal game this afternoon. The U.S. women's basketball team wins its 6th consecutive Olympic gold medal by beating Spain 101-72. The Americans played nearly flawless basketball in Rio. They've won 49 consecutive games in the Olympics, with only one of those decided by single digits. That is dominance, Kristen. We used to see the men's basketball team be dominant. Now the women are just as dominant in the sport of basketball from the United States.
They are taking over.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back with a final look at weather. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $110 million, and Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $69 million. I'm loving this cooler weather.
It's going to be fantastic when it gets. It's going to feel like fall for a few days. But we have to get through these thunderstorms. These thunderstorms are kind of the gateway to get us there. You see that back line that's moving just to the west of Louisville? That's the front. And once it drives through here, things are looking a whole lot better for a few days, guys. And can't wait for that to happen.
Hope you'll join us right back here at 11 o'clock tonight. We'll see you then.